Okay.
Hello, everyone. Yes, we are live again today. Welcome to today's live session. So, as usual, we have another topic that we want to share with you guys. So, guys, Twitter was set abuzz with this hashtag, tell us the date. And don't forget that obedience are doing great things when it comes to, urging our judges to deliver justice. We have printed bags, we have printed t-shirts, we have billboards, and so many things, as in they are doing the much they can just to tell the entire public that they are really interested in this case. All they want is their mandate being given back to them. And recently, since yesterday and today, this hashtag has been trending on Twitter that they want the date to be announced. They are like, it's taking too long. So today we want to look into this. Is it really necessary for them to come up with a date that fast, or we should just allow them to take their time until whenever they decide they want to give us a date for the ruling? So this and more we are going to be sharing with you guys. But before we go into this, or before I bring Dr. Tell into this discussion, want to look at this video. Let's just take a look at this before we continue.
Is awash with posts by self-styled citizen journalists who are, first of all, voicing displeasure over the seeming delay in the announcement of the date to deliver judgment on petitions challenging the outcome of Nigeria's presidential election. Supporters of Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party (PDP), and Peter Obi of the Labour Party have taken over the social media, and already there is a hashtag "Tell us the date" trending on microblogging site X. Yet there is nothing unusual for the Court of Appeal not to disclose the day it will deliver judgment until the judgment is ready. It is a practice with the court. Even retired Supreme Court Judge Mary Odili and former Works Minister Obatunde Fashola have been subject of controversy and wild conspiracy theories on the alleged part they are likely to play in influencing the decision of the Presidential Election Petition Court to be skewed in favor of President Bola Tinubu. These allegations they have strongly denied. A section of the legal community says the concerns by Nigerians seem well-founded due to events of the past, but crave the judiciary at least be given a benefit of the doubt.
We've seen executive suppression. We've seen executive interference. We've seen all manner of accusations, rightly and wrongly, before now. So these are the things that have sent small fears, doubts, mistrusts in the hearts of the people. But I think we need to give judiciary a chance to prove its independence. I'm sure that is why this clamor on whether judiciary can stand firm or not. So we can't determine now until the judgment is handed down, until the judgment is reviewed based on the facts of the case and the law.
A judge cannot sell out simply because there is high expectation from the public. Rather, the judge will deliver his judgment based on the admissible evidence placed before the court. So, whether there is high expectation, whether there is low expectation, the judge will deliver the judgment according to the evidence and not according to public expectation and perception.
In high-profile cases, there is often the notion that it is the judiciary that comes under trial.
I've never held that view because judiciary is not the one on trial. It's the matter that the parties present before the judiciary that is being tried. Perhaps some people believe that judiciary is on trial because of the expectation and the perception they have. But for us, within the legal cycle, I never hold the view that judiciary is on trial because it's handling a sensitive case. Mind you, every case is sensitive to the litigant.
Everything has been dumped on the laps and doorstep of the judiciary. It means that Nigerians are now relying on the judiciary to do what INEC failed to do. Everyone is relying on the judiciary as the last hope of the common man. Everybody is relying on judiciary to do justice, which is why we only caution that justice must not necessarily be in line with your expectations.
With the countdown to Judgment Day, the social media is now by far the most busiest platform for discourse on what may likely be a landmark decision amidst heightened expectations.
What we read on social media most times are completely different from what the reality in court. So what I would tell the public is, expect the judgment according to evidence presented by each of the parties. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yes, so guys.
Court does not deliver judgment based on sentiment. The court does not deliver judgment based on emotion. It's a court of law, it's not court of emotion, it's not court of sentiment, it's not court of religion.
Justice Haruna Tamani and the 4 other judges that make up the Presidential Election Petition Court panel are arguably amongst the most popular individuals in the country, as the hopes of countless millions of Nigerians now seemingly resting on their shoulders. Godfrey Eshamoge, Arise News.
Yes, so the judiciary is now bent to do what INEC was supposed to do, because INEC didn't do their job. The judiciary now has taken over to be the one to tell Nigerians who actually won this election. So guys, I'll be bringing up another video, though I'll allow Doctor to comment here, because we all know that the plan to rig this election even started before the actual election was held. We also saw how obedience suffered to get their PVCs. I mean, so many Nigerians, especially the youths, some of them were ready to sleep at collection centers. Some of them will be there as early as they could, and they will end up going home without them collecting their PVCs. You end up seeing those that were there to issue these PVCs in the offices doing nothing. So these were some of the tricks that they had. But I tell you, Peter Obi is very confident when he told the world that he knows he won this election and that he's going to prove it in court. That is exactly what he has done. We are just waiting for the judiciary. And you know, that confidence is there. We will not say we are overconfident. Confidence is there. And that is why obedience are telling the judiciary, please just tell us the date, announce the date, whether it's going to be close or it's going to be far away. Just tell us, we want to know. Doctor, please, let me allow you come in and take us through this video that we've watched.
Yeah, good evening, listeners and viewers. I hope you had a great day today. I would like to start by saying that I largely agree with the 2 gentlemen that were on that video, except on the issue of Mr. Usman, I suppose, senior advocate, who says that he does not believe that judiciary is under trial. Well, I am one of those school of thought who believe that the judiciary is under trial now. I am because I kept almost every night for the past 1 week now, since Sunday this week, I've been using this phrase, the phrase of mischief rule, and how judges should interpret the mischief rule. Now, the concept of mischief in the legal, in the constitutional and in the legal parlance has to do with an error that is existing that is found in an existing law. And the legislatures, which is the lawmakers, have identified a certain error in an existing law and have now legislated a new law or amendment of the old one in order to correct that particular error that is in the existing law. The executive will then sign it into law, all right? And then the judiciary is expected to interpret matters relating to that particular situation in the light of that error that were to be corrected. And INEC on their own specifically use their terminology to explain what the mischief that they found in Electoral Act 2010 and how Electoral Act 2022 corrected it. It is in the INEC manual, paragraph 2.9.0. INEC woefully, on the day of election, reneged on that particular correction. Let me not use the word promise. I kept saying it also, that INEC had no promise to make to us. They have the law to obey and to fulfill. And so, given that the legislatures have corrected the mischief they found in Electoral Act 2010, and the executive have signed it into law, it is now in the doorstep of the judiciary. So the judiciary's job is now being tested. So I am of the logic and of the opinion that the judiciary is on trial. Decide. The same judiciary has been all this while been endorsing the system that kept us in this pariah democratic system, process, method since the independence. This is the time the judiciary, somebody said that the prosecutors knows the truth, the defense team knows the truth, that it is the judiciary, the judge that is on trial, how he handles the truth that both parties know. That is number one. Number two is that delving into the meat of the matter, the content of the video itself, I am of the opinion that the judiciary should not be left out. We need to put them, keep on reminding them that they have a duty to deliver. However, coming on the matter of the dates, let them give us a date. I haven't attached much importance to that specific date because this particular case to the Election Petitions Court is also what is called in the legal parlance sui generis, which is a Latin word to mean something of its kind. It's not like the normal court process. The normal court process, the judges can decide to keep on adjourning and adjourning and adjourning. There are cases they have adjourned for more than 30 years, 20 years, 10 years. But because this particular case is a type of its kind, it has boundaries. It has boundaries. The presidential elections petitions court is meant to last maximum of 180 days, meaning 6 months. They are at liberty to exhaust that 6 months. They could do it pretty much earlier, but they have not broken any law. I like to be objective. They have not broken any law if they exhaust the time. And that time is next month, September. They are supposed to do what? Deliver the judgment in September. They cannot exceed the provision of the Electoral Act that deals with everything litigation mandates that the appeal court must deliver within 6 months. All right? And that 6 months is supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be counting from the day the petition was submitted. You remember that after the election was declared, there is the limited number of days any aggrieved party was supposed to do what? Submit a petition. From that particular day the petition was submitted, I think that's the counting. I may need to cross-check, please, because I don't know if it is from the day the election was declared or the day the petition was submitted. But either way, it will push us into either beginning of September or ending of September, but it cannot exceed September. So the appeal court can boldly tell you, if you want us to give you date, go to the Electoral Act and you see the date there by yourself. Choose the last day of the date, and it is not going to exceed that. That makes me believe a little bit of when they are saying that the court is not a court of emotion. A court is not a court of your feelings or your religion. I agree with that. Objectively, they have not gone out of the time allotted to them. So if we're going to put pressure on them, it's actually to put pressure on them in order that we are reminding them by way of the pressure not to succumb to the pressure of the executive. Because executive is putting pressure on these people behind the door. And they are not coming to say it on the social media. Is it because our own is heard? So let us keep raising it for them to know that they should not cower to the executive. They should not bow to the executive. Let them stand their ground. They should know that Nigerians are with them, not against them. Nigerians are with them. Nothing should happen. Nigerians on social media should be screaming loud and louder that nothing should happen to these judges. Nothing should happen to members of their family. We don't want to hear anything. No threat placed on them. So the pressure is not as if it's a pressure of threats to the judges, but pressure of assurance, pressure of encouragement, and pressure that can deter the executive from coming to pressure them. That's the way I look at it, all right? And then thirdly, I also want to make this statement. You know, sometimes when I am on a program like this, some people will say, are you trying to side them? No, I like to be objective, to be honest. I like to be objective, look at things the way it should be. You know, the Supreme, there were a judgment that came out in the US from the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court houses were picketed. I was so angry. I said, why would they do a thing like that? You go to the Supreme Court house, you start threatening the person. I don't believe in that kind of pressure. A pressure of cursing, threatening, picketing, or writing some derogatory things about judges. It's not worth it. I don't think it is worth it. Do you understand? However, I also want to put this out. Listen, when you read the petitions of Peter Obi, that is the Labour Party, there are how many petitions? There are petition of Labour Party, petition of PDP, the final address of Labour Party, the final address of PDP, the petition of APM, the final address of APM, and then APC, their own response to the petition, then their final address, the same thing with INEC, and then Tinubu himself. If you read all those things, this document, all the judges will sit down and begin to digest them. And remember when Peter Obi was submitting evidence, they kept saying, I object, we will give reason. I object, we will give reason. All those reasons, the judges will have to digest them, subject them to our constitution, subject them to the Electoral Act, subject them to INEC regulations and guidelines, subject them to INEC Manual of Election 2023, subject them to number 5 now, our Evidence Act, and then subject them to precedents. All those cases, Labour Party, PDP, APM, the APC, INEC, and Tinubu, all those cases they quoted, the judges are expected to go and read it to be sure that they are not telling lies. Because somebody could make reference and it is that thing there is not true. The judges are supposed to read all of them. They have to read all these things individually. Make a meaning of those content by themselves. Compare them with existing laws, as I have mentioned. compare them with the Evidence Act, read all the witnesses' statements. For instance, let me give you, do you know that the mathematician that Labour Party brought, that the document he submitted there is almost up to 1,000, up to 200 pages, more than 100 pages. All those spreadsheets, all those calculations, the judges individually will have to hire their legal assistants to help them begin to punch those calculators to be sure that what mathematicians said is true. They will read the whole thing that the mathematician did. They will read the whole thing that the other cyber security expert for PDP said. They will confirm indeed that everything that happened there individually, they will do it individually. And then they will now write their own judgment individually. And then they will come and sit down and have conference, 5 of them, where their judgments will be made public to themselves. If all of them agreed in the same direction, then one person will be elected amongst them to write the lead judgment. If one person differed, that person will now go back and write his own judgment why he differed. The other 4 will elect someone who will write a judgment on behalf of all of them. So you have 2 judgments, the lead judgment and the dissent judgment, even though the lead judgment will be the final judgment for that particular level of litigation. And all these things are going to take time. To be honest, if I am one of those judges, after collecting that, I said it before, that final address, if I have grandchildren, I would take my grandchildren, not even my children, and go to one farm somewhere, maybe in Obudu or in Taraba State, not vacation in Europe, where I will just see nature, play with my grandchildren, relax, pretend as if nothing is happening for 2 weeks, so that my brain will calm down. I will then come and sit down and start working. I'm saying this because sometimes I review journals for some top journal companies. And in order to do that, you have to read every word an author puts down there. Compare it with existing theories. Do everything, make your own assessment, and then write your reasons for why you want the journal to be accepted or to be corrected or to be rejected. And so I actually think that whatever pressure that is being put on the judges may make them delay the more, because if we are putting pressure on them to be thorough, then we have to give them the space and the freedom to be thorough. So I think they haven't done anything untoward so far, anything that should make us to be worried. They are still within the time frame allotted to them, and they have a lot of work to do. And remember, they will end up merging 3 cases together to deliver one judgment. They're going to merge more like the cases of PDP, Labour Party, and APM. They're going to have a way of summarizing all those things. So because the whole judgment of all these 3 big petitions will be delivered on one day. So they are writing 3 judgments. Judgment as per Labour Party, judgment as per APM, and judgment as per PDP. And they'll be delivered one day. Because the petitions court did not hear only one case. Previously, it used to be Buhari versus Atiku, or Buhari versus Obasanjo or versus Yar'Adua. But this one is Atiku versus Tinubu. In one, that's a case that is independent of its own. And now Peter Obi versus Tinubu. That's another case. And then I've forgotten the presidential candidate of APM versus Tinubu. So these are 3 cases that will be looked at independently, the judgment written independently, and they'll be delivered the same day. So the same 6 months they had in the time of Buhari versus Obasanjo, Buhari versus Yar'Adua, and Buhari versus Tinubu, is the same 6 months they have now for 3 cases that is equal to what they used to do before. So if you look at it that way, apply objective mind, then I will encourage us to continue the campaign, but let it not be the campaign of saying you must deliver the judgment today. Let it be the campaign of encouraging them and warding off the executive from taking them hostage. That's my own thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah, Doc, thank you for that contribution. Honestly, these judges must be under serious pressure. We know the kind of environment we are living in. I mean, Nigeria, when it comes to politics, our politicians are ready to go to any length. We also saw what happened during the election. They can go to any length. And some people were even raising concern about these judges, if actually they are safe, assuming they make up their mind that they really want to dispense justice. Are their lives safe? Are they free from, all kinds of humiliation? Like we've seen, there was this was it a CJN that was removed, how he was removed, all sort of things that happened.
In fact, today someone called me, I was saying that his worry is not even people who are saying they must deliver. That as it is now, these people may have been looking for any kind of debt they will find on these judges. They magnify it and they use it to threaten them. All right? That if care is not taken, their family members, as it were now, they may be planning some kind of arranging some fictitious kidnappers to kidnap their family members. You remember what they did to Konjo-Iweala? They kidnapped her mother that was in her late 80s then and threatened her that if she does not drop her threats against people who are stealing our oil, that her mom will die. Now, if people who are ordinary businessmen could do something like that, you can imagine people who want to perpetuate themselves in power. So we should be feeling for these judges now and be raising alarm on their behalf. On their behalf. That nothing must happen to them. Well, I don't want to be conspiracy theorist or to connect it, but of course you know that one member of the justice of the Supreme Court just died, isn't it? The one coming from Enugu just died, I think Sentus Mweze. The body was brought back to Enugu State last week. All right? Some say he's been sick for some time. Others said he was eliminated because he's an evil man. All those theories, I don't want to subscribe to it. But please, whether good or bad, let these judges that we've seen in courts, because if anything happens to one of them now, if anything happens to one judge now, that makes him incapacitated from writing his own judgment, case finish, because the panel cannot be even number. The panel must always be an odd number so that there will always be a tie in that respect. If the panel becomes an even number, and now you have 2 for and 2 against, what do? Would you bring the president to come and be the person who break the tie? So, not even that. Let these people not have heart attack. Let them not get so sick that they have to fly them to Europe for medical attention. Anything that is going to make this thing to exceed within the time frame that the law provided, we must be raising alarm to make sure that it didn't happen. So our campaign should actually be for the judges, for their protection, for their safety, for their sound mind.
But what if we have compromised people among them? Because it is likely, among the judges, it is likely you might find 1 or 2 judges that are, partisans.
Of course. Of course. But that is why I said, and I keep saying it on this platform, that the shortcuts they usually enjoy, the mischief they usually leverage on, which was in Electoral Act 2010, have been largely corrected in the Electoral Act 2022. This Electoral Act 2022 is a bone in the throat of anybody. So there come a time when, even though you may be compromised, but the abundant evidence before will force you not to do something because it is glaring. And as I keep saying, the people we are shouting at self are not even people that we should be worried about. This level of the litigation is not even where I am concerned. I've said it times without number. My concern lies in what is going to happen in the Supreme Court. Because you know why? If, like you're saying, a judge of the Supreme Court gets compromised and looks the case in the face and closes his eyes and hit his gavel the other way, Nigerians may riot, buildings may get burnt, but it's not going to change the judgment of the Supreme Court. Do you understand? It's not going to change it. So my worry is with the Supreme Court. Because if the appeal court go the other way against the explicit literal sentences that are contained in our Electoral Act, when Labour Party appeals to the Supreme Court, they will refer to those sections of the law that the appeal court did not take cognizance of. And they will ask the appeal court, the Supreme Court, the way they frame it is, my lord, in the light of so and so, we want you please to confirm if the honorable justices of the appeal court, the way they term them, were right in their judgment, given that they quote all those places. So what they will do is that it will heighten the revelation of the abuse of our law by the reply in the appeal, because you don't just throw appeal by saying, I appeal. You have to appeal and you have to raise grounds on which you are now appealing. And you need to say, I think, like in the case I was mentioning yesterday about Hope Uzodimma and Ihedioha. When Hope Uzodimma went to the Supreme Court, he prayed to the judges to say, please, is it, quote and unquote, is it the right thing that there was an election and INEC decided that this result that is coming from so and so place, that they will not include it in my result. And if they include it in my result, I will be the winner. INEC did not bring their own result to counter my own. And I have brought another result that is the second highest level of result in terms of the law probate value, the police copy. Police certify that it is their own. Please, my dear lords, look at this thing. Is it right? And as he's saying it, he's quoting relevant cases, precedents that rely on that kind of method. So I keep saying it. Either way this particular appeal court goes, the lawyers of the Labour Party are equal to the task to spring. Remember what happened in Osun State. The lower court, the trial court, which is high court, said that Adeleke did not win. But Adeleke, knowing that this Electoral Act gave him energy and power, he went to the appeal court. Appeal court gave him judgment. Then Oyetola went to the Supreme Court again. And the Supreme Court sustained the judgment of the appeal court. So I am not bothered. The people we should be worried about is not this level. You know, because this level is not the final. The level that is a final is the Supreme Court. However, the judgment of the appeal court, if it goes in the way of Labour Party, will give us confidence more to see how will the Supreme Court yank off this clean judgment. Because in the case of the former president of the Senate, you remember that they went off course. They started talking about technicalities instead of the substance of the case. So that's my thinking.
Yeah, Doc, thank you so much. So we should rather raise alarm on the behalf of our judges, and also to tell the executive that they shouldn't toy
back
with
off.
honestly.
Back off.
They
That we are
shouldn't toy
watching.
with the commitments
That we are
of
watching.
the youths, of the Nigerian youths for a new Nigeria. We just want things to change. Fellow Nigerians, look at what is happening in our country today. As in, this current government have shown that they lack capacity, they lack the ability, they lack creative ideas that will pull Nigeria out of the mess we are into. Look at how we are depreciating. A government that came in, they said they will hit the ground running. Look at where we are today. They've already shown that they are not even prepared for leadership. They are not prepared to take Nigeria to another level. So it's not even a time for the judiciary to joke with this, the petition that Peter Obi has filed. It's never a time, because we are in a very dying moment. We are in a critical condition. I must tell you, Nigeria needs a savior. So they shouldn't just play with, especially the youths, because they are the ones that are feeling this heat the most. Many people don't have job, and you see them, the EFCCs, they're going after the young ones. They are out of frustration. They go into things some of them never dreamt going into. So we really want the judiciary to stand firm. They shouldn't allow the executive to influence them. You know, somebody tweeted on Twitter and was saying that the person that is very close to the president, that he's busy cashing money from the nominees. You know, I was like, can such a thing be happening in Nigeria? Because some of these speculations, if you really dig deep, some of them have some elements of truth attached to them. I must tell you the truth. So I was like, so these people could just be having this kind of fun when Nigerians are dying. So honestly, this is really a moment that even our judiciary, our judges themselves, they have to be very conscious that Nigerians are really looking up to them to remedy the situation we are into. So I want us to look at, Doctor, please just respond to what this person wrote.
Yeah, it's Odipel. It says, whilst we are putting our eyes on the judiciary, let us also put some attention on our leader will be in prayer. These men are very mean. I remember Lieutenant Funsho Williams. Yes, late Funsho Williams. It's true. It's true. It's not just Funsho Williams. What of Gary Marshall? Funsho Williams, Gary Marshall. How many of them can we mention that they just butchered? But you see, God will protect Peter Obi. If they can, they would have by now. If they can, they would have by now. God's special grace is upon him, with him, to protect him first. If they can, they could have by now. Not even now, even when he was a governor. Even when he was a governor.
So yesterday we talk. Sorry.
I like this.
This tweet makes a lot of sense, honestly, because yesterday we were talking about the number of ministers that this government have decided to include in their government. So we're looking at it, and we found out that 41 out of 48 of them have corruption cases. So we're like, personally, I was like, possibly this is why power is being held, because up to today, Nigerians don't even know why they are still keeping him in custody. But you can see these tweets. I think it makes a lot of sense, you know, that the chairman of EFCC is still in jail. For the politicians that he was investigating, they are now the one coming to be our ministers.
Mhm.
We also mentioned that 9 out of 11 governors, I mean governors that just left office, some of them lost or some of them have served their 2 terms. 9 out of 11 are coming back. The people that ruined Nigeria together with Buhari, they are the one coming back again to serve in this government. Nigerians, how did we get here? Honest, how did we get here?
Yes, so it's a new order. It's a new order. You remember James Ibori? This system is so dirty. Remember James Ibori and Nuhu Ribadu in 2007, and how all of a sudden everything died down because there was this speculation then that James Ibori, Saraki were part of the people that sponsored Yaradua's campaign, and so the untouchables. You know, James Ibori was cleared of everything here in Nigeria, but mistakenly he found himself in Dubai and Interpol picked him up and he went to jail in the UK. A man that looted his people were cleared by his people. And the money he looted that was found in the UK, the judge found him guilty in UK. They are still repatriating it. Billions. Anybody can go online and just type James Ibori's case on Google. You will read and you'll be tired what one man carried for himself. Is he not the person that we are told led Wike to the Aso Rock and part of the 1999 team, 1999 boys, class of 1991 governors, who went to give a handshake with their buddy, their bro, who is now president? You know, Old Boys Association. All right? And so if that people are back in power, it is the time where that, my goodness. It was during their time, they got EFCC politicized. And EFCC become a cash cow for anybody who wants to be there. I am not saying that this current EFCC boy is clean. There's a whole lot hanging on his neck. However, it is understandable that EFCC is not doing anything since this new government came, because the man who will use them to do bragadosh, whom they don't like, is in jail without trial, and the people he will harass are actually getting appointment. So, God help us, because these are the kind of things they are talking with respect to Niger. You put the people under intense pressure. I heard today in the news that UNO, African Union, ECOWAS, all of them are lamenting about the President Bazoum. Is it Bazoum they call him? The one that was removed, about his health, that his son, the 20-year-old son, his health is bad. And his daughter that is in France, is in France talking. How many people in Niger could travel to France? If his son is sick, which hospital in Niger can treat him? They want to fly his son out. Oh, that he's been eating pasta. He's not clapping that he's eating pasta. How many people in Niger ate pasta yesterday? Pasta. Is pasta cheap? Oh, that there's no electricity. You want him to enjoy the same electricity that you cut off? Which electricity? ECOWAS, they say it's not Nigeria, that anything the president did is ECOWAS. ECOWAS cut off the electricity that is feeding Niger. So you want the military boys that took over to go and buy fuel from generator? Or is the uranium that they don't use to generate power in Niger that they used to generate power in France, that they will go and collect that uranium and come and use it to, do they know how to convert uranium into electricity? So why do you want them to give him electricity when you people cut the electricity? They don't have money. The aid you people are giving, you people suspended the aid. So you want them to use the little chickly money that is in their pocket to go and buy generator to give him electricity. In fact, if I was those military boys, I wouldn't even hold that man. I would just send him to one of the villages where he was president over to go and live with the villagers, eat with the villagers, play with the villagers for 1 week. Let him feel what his citizen is feeling. And I will mandate them, don't touch him, don't beat him, don't do anything. Whatever you people eat in the morning, let him eat. Where you people sleep, let him sleep. If mosquito is biting you people, let it bite him. Let him see how the good people of Niger have been enjoying themselves. That's it. You don't need to torture a man. Why should you torture a man? If he's so good, let him live in the midst of the good people and let them enjoy the same way. So I don't understand this double standard. Our senator, the Senate president, used his mouth. You know what annoyed me? It's not the 2 million that Ruben Abati tweeted that they created the senators to 2 million. It's not the 2 million they credited to the account, according to Ruben Abati. That is my concern. My concern is this, that he used his mouth to say, in order for you to enjoy your holiday, they have their statutory salary. These people that got inaugurated in the month of June have gotten their statutory salaries and other things. Gotten, is this 70 billion they are splashing on themselves? And then, in order for them to enjoy their holiday, the clerk will send something into their bank account. Holiday. When some Nigerians have packed their cars because they can't fuel it. Some Nigerians have fired themselves from the job they are doing. Because of what? Because the amount they are paid in a month is not up to $100. How many Nigerians are earning $100 in Nigeria a month? $1 today is about 920 naira. How many Nigerians are earning 92,000 in a month? And our senators are crediting themselves with the current value today, equivalent of 2,000 euros to enjoy their holiday. 2,000 euros. Somebody called me today, sent a text to my phone begging me, said, my son has gotten admission in a university. I can't pay for his school fees. He got admission to read medicine in one of the universities in Nigeria. He can't pay school fees. He can't pay accommodation. And he's a younger person that is also less than 50 years. He went to his pension fund and said, please, can you pull it? And they say, you're not even up to the time. They say you must be at least 50 years. So he's trying to go and liquidate his pension fund to pay his son's school fees. And our senators are giving themselves 2,000 euros for holiday. And those who bagged money for 8 years as governors are becoming ministers. I don't know why you're taking us this part. I thought we were supposed to be discussing judiciary, you know. Nigerians, it's annoying. Oh yes, people are still telling us former Attorney General Bola Ige was murdered in cold blood. Till today, they have not solved the murder. Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Funsho Willan was traveling from Port Harcourt to Warri. They killed him on the way, you know. No, I'm sorry, not Marshall Harris. Funsho Willan was in Lagos. So God will keep Peter Obi. God will keep him.
Yes, so guys, Honestly, what is happening in Nigeria is really so pathetic. You can imagine these ex-governors. They are still collecting their pension, and some of them, the money they left office with, they've not even touched it. Now they are being given ministerial posts while Nigerians keep groaning. I don't know. I don't even know how they feel. I don't know with which boldness do they even come to appear before the Senate for screening. That you just left office. Don't even forget that some of them possibly left the National Assembly before they contested for governorship. Now they
Of
are
course.
leaving their governor. They left government house, the state government house. They still want to become minister. This is how they will keep, recycling themselves. Like Peter Obi will always say, they don't have any other business. When they are leaving government, they are just confused as to how to begin a fresh life. The only option they have is just to keep recycling themselves. And that is why we really have to stay focused. Obedience, you guys have done a very good job when it comes to, supporting Peter Obi from the scratch till today. The support is still very strong. When you go to Twitter, you'll be wondering, these people, do they even rest? You can imagine that quest for a new Nigeria is really burning in people's hearts. People can no longer take what is on ground today. Everybody is yearning for a change. And that is why we don't really want our judiciary, our judges, to succumb to any kind of pressure. We know that pressure is real. We know that they must be going through a lot at the moment. But please, they should just stand out at this moment. Let the world still know that at least Nigerian judiciary can still, be independent to a certain level. So, guys, these are some of the things we are saying. So, I have this clip that I want to lastly play. I saw it on Twitter and it really broke my heart. So, I felt I should share it with you guys. This was when Obedience went to pick up their PVCs and some of the ugly experiences that they passed through. So let's just take a look at it and then we conclude for today. They don't want to share card because they don't vote for Obi. Because they don't want to share card because they don't vote for Obi. We don't vote for Obi. Yeah. They know what shepherd. They know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. And today I'm carrying this video. Yeah. They know what they are doing. This money. Only 5 cards. They don't give for the card. This money. 5 cards. Yeah, we die here. Yeah. We don't collect our cards. So, guys, for me, this didn't really sound funny for me, So, watching it alone, I felt like crying. You can imagine, people are really yearning for a change. People want a new Nigeria. When you look at these youths, possibly they don't have anything doing. They said they were ready to sleep there. We die here. That's what they were saying. That they've been there since morning. They've given out only 5 cards. They were not ready to share the PVCs because they saw that most of the people there were youths, and these are Peter Obi's supporters. So you can imagine what the obedience movement, supporters of Peter Obi, what they've gone through from the beginning of this campaign until now that we are in court. And honestly, they've done a lot. Obedience have done a lot. That's why we have to just keep pressing until we get to that final point. I believe it's not far away any longer. And no doubt the judiciary must dispense justice. At least they've seen the anger on the faces of Nigerians. When you go to social media, you find out that people are no longer, they are no longer comfortable with what is happening in Nigeria. Everybody is yearning for a change. And no doubt that is a very big signal to our judges, because they watch the social media, they go there, they see what is happening, they see all these posts, and no doubt this is a very strong signal that has been sent out to them. So, Doctor, I don't know what your closing thought is so that we round up at this point.
Well, just like I don't have much to say other than what you've said here. We keep praying for them. We keep trusting that things will change this time around. we've been in this rat race now for 60 years now, I think from 1963 to 2023 should be 60 years, am I right? We've been in this rat race. This rat race we are in led to the first coup, to subsequent coups and what have you. I still say it, I remember as a young boy that morning, 1st of January 1984, my mom came down saying the military has taken over because of the mess of the politicians. The military came. It came 31st night, 1983, and they've been there until 1999. And 1999, the politicians again have done what they know how to do best. Like leopard, they can't change the color of their skin. I pray that the judges will break us out of this rat race. I pray that they will see reason in the case that have been made and presented before them. And I pray that Nigeria will win again. Nigeria is a great country. Nigeria is a blessed country. Nigerians love themselves. Forget what the politicians, the divide and rule the politicians are using. The Yorubas are in love with the Hausas, and the Hausas are in love with the Igbos. Look at the kind of marriages we're having. Our problem is not mixing and doing things together. It's the politicians that are weaponizing us. I pray that the judiciary will break us out of this and let us stand to grow Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for
Good.
your thoughts. So guys, we'll be ending it at this point. Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate your presence. Please do well to like this video so that YouTube will recommend it to others. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. Please, the notification bell is very important. That's the only way you can get any updates when we post or when we are live here. We want to really appreciate you for your time. Thank you so much and God bless you. Doctor, thank you for all the contributions you've made today.
Thank you all.
To all of you.
All right,
Bye.
good night all. Bless. Good.